Um, it looks like this was the this. I don't think there were many surprises in this round. Some close games in this round, but not many surprises, so to speak. You know, if we jump it in right away, we want to jump in on definitely that Buffalo Bills and the Broncos game. There was some things that happened in that game. Again, I think we both picked Denver to win this game. Um,
Well,
Buffalo had
s-
the game. There was,
yeah,
I want to get your take on that play. The rollover. Did you catch the ball? Is the knee down? Rip the
right.
ball out. That how because there was another game that had happened, sort of similar, and then the play was kind of went a different way. So I want to get your take on that. But I mean, I I figured Denver was going to win this game, but Buffalo was right there to win this game. Now, they get rid of their coach, Sean McDermott, and he's out. You just mentioned before we jumped on talking about the GM, and the GM should have been gone. But Josh
Brandon
Allen
Bean.
just doesn't have the you got James Cook there, and you don't have anybody else. I mean, it's difficult. It reminds me of back in the day with the Eagles when you had McNabb and then you had Pinkston and Freddie Mitchell as your receivers. I mean, where you going? Where you going with them? Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's only so much you could do. So, yeah, I mean, another year, another Josh Allen is out. I mean, another year, and that's it.
yeah. I mean, Josh Allen. I think this was the first playoff game where you could actually assign some blame to him because of the turnovers that were attributed on hit from his part, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at his tenure there in its totality, and you look at the playoff games that he has played in, and his performances in those games, uh, you can see that the team let him down, right? He's had some stellar performances aside from this one, even though he did enough to keep them in it.
Right.
By all like he was the only thing keeping them in it to begin with, right? But he had those costly turnovers. I think from a situation awareness perspective on the coaching part, which is, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but that didn't do him any favors either. Um, and then with the catch with Brandon Cooks, so the way that they interpret what a catch is, unfortunately, they they designed it in a way, the explanation itself, where it can be interpreted many different ways. And in this situation where he caught the ball and didn't survive the entirety of the catch, and then the defender ended up with the ball at the end of that, that scenario, one can say that, yeah, it was an interception, but one could also, with the same interpretation of what a catch is supposed to be, can say if you take it frame by frame, slow it down, instant replay, right, which is also a part of the game. You can see that his knee was down when he had his two hands on the ball.
Yep.
But then another part of the interpretation of a catch is that you have to make a football move. So then, what constitutes the football move upon reception,
Yeah.
right? So, I don't know, man. Like I still don't know what a catch is, right? And
Me
and
either.
and this goes back to going all the way back to the whole thing with Megatron, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Calvin Johnson and that whole scenario,
Hmm.
a decade ago.
Right.
So they called it what they called it. You had a similar play that happened a couple of times this season. One with Aaron Rodgers
Yep.
when the ball got batted up and he caught it, and when he came down, he and the defender had the ball. He came down, his knee hit. The defender took the ball away from him, but they said he was down.
Right. Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Bills got screwed on this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, because when I looked at it initially, I said, you know what? That's a catch by Brandon Cooks. That was my
Yeah.
initial, because I watched it. I just how many times they was replaying it. I watched it that many times too, and I
Hmm.
saw his hands on the ball, knee is
Yeah.
down, and then he's rolling. I mean, he's rolling, and when your knee is down, you down. So with him rolling, that's when my man had his hands on the ball and pulled it out. He was already on the ground. I mean, his knee was
Yeah.
on the ground. So I
Yeah.
say that's a catch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, like you said, it could be interpreted. But did they actually do a replay on that play?
No,
No
they
replay.
didn't.
You see what I'm
No.
saying? You
No,
see what I'm
they
saying?
didn't. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, they got shafted on this, but
Yeah, they did.
should it have been that close to, for, but this is the playoffs. This is the playoffs, and these games are going to come down to those kinds of things. That's this, there's rarely a blowout except for one of the games this weekend. um but the majority of the games are going to come down to razor thin things that are like, these things that change the trajectory of the game. I hate
Yeah.
having the refs making, having things like this cause a game. I
Yeah.
I, it's just, yeah, it's some of these things are just inevitable, especially where the play was, and how, where the field position where that play happened.
Yeah.
It was tough, man. It was tough to look at.
Yeah. And then you got people, they lose their jobs over situations like this,
Absolutely,
But
absolutely, yeah.
you can't say that that one, yeah, it was a contributing factor, but they had a lot of opportunities to win this game.
They had some opportunities, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was more. Oh, so in this game also, Bo Nix,
Mm.
fractured ankle, right? So
Hmm.
he is out. He's not going to be playing in the championship round. So that's something that happens there. I know we're going to talk about that, at the end of the week, the championship game matches. But he, from what I didn't see, I know it was at the end of the game,
Yeah.
but it didn't appear that he was, hobbling at all. Maybe just a little slight limp, but
I think adrenaline was really
yeah,
taking him through it.
yeah,
They said it was the second to last play, but I think it was more so the third to last play, right?
gotcha, yeah,
Where he tried to make a cut, his foot got stuck in the turf,
mm,
and I think the momentum kind of, you could see where there was a little bit of an awkwardness to the way his leg bent, the bottom
yeah,
part with the ankle, and that's
yeah,
where the fracture, that's where the break happened. But
yeah,
he still
yeah. That's
played.
tough.
Like, even I think after that he threw a pass,
Hmm.
and it went incomplete, and then that's when they kicked the field goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That he's a trooper. He's a trooper,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Trooper.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah. All right. So yep. That Buffalo next year, new coach next year, man.
Mm.
See what happens there. But they really got to revamp some stuff there.
Boy,
Um,
it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because the
Um,
thing is, they're talking about them possibly getting an offensive minded coach, which
mm,
they weren't hurting on offense.
yeah, yeah.
They weren't hurting on offense. It
They
was the
want to. Yeah,
defense, which McDermott was supposed to be
always
a
question
defensive
that.
minded coach, and
He was. He. Yep.
the
Yep.
defense was always the Achilles heel.
Yep.
And they're gonna probably need to get someone that kind of understands situational awareness, because McDermott made the miss calls that he made as a coach, they compounded,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And caused them a lot of games in the
Yeah. Well, you got
playoffs.
Dayball out there. Dayball did it before with Josh Allen, so he's out there.
That's what
Um,
I'm saying. Like, they don't need a Dayball.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. They need defense. They need defense for sure.
They don't need
Yeah.
a Dayball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
yeah,
So all right. These two teams in your division, 49ers,
mm,
Seahawks.
mm,
I know you guys have faced them. Y'all all split,
yeah,
down the board throughout the season. And I knew it was going to be time for the 49ers reign to, it caught up with them. It caught up with them. And they ran into a buzzsaw, which is Seattle. And it nothing was working for them, man. Nothing was working. Seattle's defense is like these dudes are smothering, and you know, this really made me look at something because the Eagles. I thought the Eagles defense was a sort of a good defense, which
I was
you know,
just going to bring you guys up. I was going to bring
yeah,
you guys up. I couldn't help but compare.
yeah. But different. You know, and this is all I can put it to. This is all I can do. Whole friend, I build it fully with other. Right? And you know, you know their schemes and you know how to stop them. When you look at the other teams, you look out of the division, whatever it is, when you don't know how to live in, you know, all the motions and you guys aren't phased by that because y'all see that all the time. Other teams like the Eagles and stuff, you know, they don't see this kind of stuff, especially when it comes to you guys doing it on offense. And you know, all the teams in your division actually, you know, got some really good offensive minded coaches, and it's really you know the movement and the shifts and the stuff that you guys do. I think you guys in that division are really familiar with all of that, and that's
Yeah.
why Seattle is like, this ain't nothing for us. We see this all the time. And so that's the only thing I could equate with the defenses from what the Eagles in Seattle. But I mean, these guys. Seattle is tough, man. And I think that it is right. The two teams that in the NFC Championship, it is right. The two best teams I feel made it there. So crazy that you know NFC West, y'all ran the thing the whole year. But yeah, I mean they just didn't have an answer, and I think Shanahan just got outcoached. You know, again, it could not, it did not phase them at all, and so yeah, Seattle. It was just an obliteration, man.
Yeah, well, a couple of things, right? So you talk about the offensive schemes within the NFC West. Everybody except the Cardinals. We're not going to count them.
Yes.
Which, which, ironically enough, the Cardinals' offensive coordinator just got tapped as the OC for Detroit. I-
I
That's going to
saw
be
that.
interesting.
How is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's go over there,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But no, no. What I was going to say is the Seattle's head coach, uh, McDonald. He's a defensive guy.
Mm,
He's not
he's
offensive.
not offensive. Yeah.
So he was the defensive coordinator for the Ravens when the Ravens was balling, which
I
is
got you.
part of why you see that attrition on the Ravens
Yes,
side after he
yes,
left on the
yes,
defense.
yes.
Okay, he was the main component as to why the defense was so great all those years.
Yeah,
So now you bring that to Seattle. That's why Seattle's defense is so stout.
yeah.
Clint Kubiak, the son of Gary Kubiak, who was the backup to John Elway back in the day,
I remember.
right? He is the offensive coordinator for Seattle. Last year, he was offensive coordinator for the Saints, and the Saints fired him because they're the Saints. Okay, but
Yeah,
he's the one. He has that offense humming. He's
yeah,
another coordinator where I think he needs to be a head coach somewhere. I need him away from Seattle. Someone needs to go pick him up.
yeah.
So, but to your point, Seattle, Niners, Rams, we know each other. We're familiar with each other. That's why
Hmm.
the games have been so close over the years. You say that Shanahan got out coach. I just think the Niners ran out of gas, man. You
Yeah,
had Kittles that's out. You have Fred Warner that's out, right? You have all these people that are dinged up. Ayuk never showed up,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, Purdy was in and out all season. The offensive line for the Niners is banged up. They don't really have no one on defense. They just ran out of people.
yeah,
So I don't think it was a bad coaching job. It was just Shanahan. He didn't have anyone.
yeah.
And when you're in the playoffs, everything gets amplified. Plus 100. And Seattle, they had a whole week off to prepare. They had the number. They had
Yeah,
their number.
yeah.
So you had a game where what I'm looking at though is did the Eagles play the Seahawks this season?
No, didn't play the
No.
Seahawks. I would have definitely wanted but it wouldn't have been. It
Okay.
would. I think we would have got done just like how the
Mm-mm.
Niners got done.
I don't not no. I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
don't know. I don't know.
I'm not saying that y'all would have definitely won, but it wouldn't have been that bad. Like I said, I think the Niners just ran out of gas. When
Yeah,
you look at
yeah,
Seattle, the last couple of games that Seattle played at the end of the regular season,
yeah,
they was some hard fought wins that they had. They barely won
yeah,
some of those games.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
but yeah, but going back to this game, it was yeah. I just think Seattle just they were fortunate to get a 49er team that came off of a high on last week's win against the Eagles,
Hmm.
but with Kittle's being out and everything else going on,
Yeah,
they didn't have
yeah.
enough.
It's
They didn't have
too
enough for this
much.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too much to overcome, especially a division foe. Division games
Yep.
is yeah,
Yep.
that ain't no joke. Yeah,
Yep.
so definitely agree with that for sure. Yep, man. All right. So Texans Patriots, man. Golly. Oh my goodness, man. I had picked the Texans in this game because of that
You
defense.
didn't. You didn't. You didn't pick the
I picked the
Texans.
Patriots.
So okay. You
We
picked
flipped it. Yes,
no. You picked um all of the home games except for the Bears.
that is true.
You picked
Yes,
all
yes,
of
yes, yes.
I
Now I
picked
remember.
and I picked all of the visiting teams,
Yeah, I remember now.
right?
Yes,
And I'm gonna tell
yes,
you why I remember that
yeah.
when we get to the last game.
I got you. I got you. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
yeah,
You know what? When I was looking at when I said, I like D'Amico Ryans. I like this defense, man. The defense is solid,
right.
you know. And but CJ Stroud, is it the offensive line? I mean, I don't know, but it looking at the game, right? It doesn't look like it. He was just making throws that. Why are you throwing this here, CJ?
Hmm.
Like what's going on? It just didn't now. Oh, I think one of the interceptions wasn't his fault. It went through the receiver's hand and they caught it.
Hmm.
Right? That's hey, that's acceptable. But how he was playing was just not. I
Seemed
don't.
out of character. Seemed
Very
out of
out of
character.
character.
Yeah.
And you know what? Somebody made a comment on the game. It was like he's trying to replicate his rookie season and hadn't been able to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't hadn't been able to. Now, let me ask you this: if you know, had they kept the same offensive coordinator?
No, Slowick was the coordinator his rookie season, and
Yeah,
then in his sophomore season, he started to. I guess that they felt the offense started to get stale because he couldn't replicate that same success,
yeah,
and then can't come this because this is CJ's what third season or fourth season,
yeah, fourth, yeah.
fourth, right? So last year was when they
Hmm.
got rid of Slowick.
They definitely got to bring. Yeah, they definitely got somebody in offense, man. Is a who dynamic play caller offense with him, and that's going to use for him and use his skill set. Because I know D'Amico Ryan's isn't going to throw him under the bus, and D'Amico Ryan's believes in him from what I think. And they got to try something with bringing in another offensive coordinator because to to have that kind of defense, and the defense was getting the ball back. I mean, they was getting it back, and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
there's an opportunity, and then just another mistake. But
it's a,
I
it's a
okay, so
championship
yeah, I
caliber
remember.
defense. It's a championship
Yes,
caliber
yes,
defense.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, New England just took advantage of all those turnovers. They had some turnovers of
yeah.
their own, but
Hmm.
they just took when the turnovers happened on some of those turnovers, they created points out of those turnovers, and that was the game.
Yeah,
And so yeah, it's tough for CJ, tough off season going to be for Houston, but New England Patriots keep rolling, man. They are. I know we're going to talk about it later, but yeah, it's looking like something for the Patriots.
yeah. But and going back to CJ Stroud, I believe they made note a couple of times during the game that there seems to have been something wrong with his hand,
Yes, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Nobody gave any description in terms of what it could have possibly been, and he didn't
Hmm.
seem to have been getting any treatment on the on the sidelines for it, but
Yeah.
he kept looking at it, and you can see he kept like kind of motioning it and doing it. It just looked awkward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that could have been a contributing factor as to why he was off base. But some of the decisions he was making too was just out of character. It was not a good showing.
No.
It was not a good showing. And
Yeah.
and since his rookie season, he's done nothing but regress.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy that he's regressed like that. That's why I'm saying some offensive coordinator or somebody got to come in, quarterbacks coach, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Somebody got to work with him in the offseason. I
Mhm.
think he in his press conference he was saying, that he's gonna fix it, his decision
I
making.
mean,
So I know he knows something.
he got to say
Um,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he definitely needs to get some help, man. He
Yeah.
somebody needs to come in there and really work with him this off season and really get that squared away.
Well,
Um,
there's a report saying that he doesn't really want to be in Houston either.
mm, that's crazy with that kind of
Yeah.
defense. Why would you not want to be in Houston?
Well, I mean, not maybe he doesn't feel like he's getting coached up the right way on the offensive side.
Yeah, yeah, I could
You
see
know.
that. I could see
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so all right. Um, your game, man. Rams Bears. So boy, this was one for the ages, man. This was a I love this game. It was a great game. I
Glad
mean,
you enjoyed it.
hey, look, I know you were sweating bullets, boy. Look, I knew it, and yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward all the way. I'm gonna let you get into the details, but I'm
Yeah.
just gonna fast forward to the end. And when I saw Caleb Williams running back, 3, 4 defenders, I'm like, this is over. I say this is over. And let me tell you, man, I was so I jumped out of my seat in shock. I was like, how in the world?
Yeah.
There is no way
No
possible.
way.
I didn't even know this dude had that kind of arm strength.
I told you. I
Yeah,
told you. So I don't
when
know
he
if
yes.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, when I saw that, I remembered what you said about his arm strength, and I was like, that was just crazy. Falling back, defenders all over you, and you hit my man like that.
Mhm.
That was that right there. There's much respect for him on that play right there because
Yeah.
no, I don't know any other quarterback in the NFL that can
None.
make that throw like
None.
that. That was
None.
crazy. That was crazy. So yeah, man, I just had to that one fast forward to the end, but yeah, I'm gonna let you break this one down.
So if you remember, like a couple of years back when before the draft, when he was coming into the league, and I was talking to you. This was at your daughter's graduation party,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
was talking to you and Razor,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I said he was the best prospect I think I've ever seen. Not to say that he's going to automatically be a great quarterback in the NFL,
Right.
but just the intangibles of what he could do athletically, I had
Mhm.
never seen anything like it
Wow.
from what he was doing in college. So I knew if put in the right position, in the right situation with the right coaching, he could do great things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, the reason why I remember all of your picks, right?
Mhm.
All of my picks was opposite of yours except for this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so coming up to this game, all of my picks was wrong. So now I'm fretting. I'm like, I ain't get one right yet. Right. And then I remember it's like, but Link's got all of his.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And Link's, even though I picked the Rams, Link's picked the Rams too.
Yep.
Right? So Link's picked the Rams too. So I
Yep.
can run. Hey, I rolling with Links.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but no, man, this game, it was intense. This is one of those games where every possession mattered.
Yeah.
Even though we did win the turnover battle, Caleb Williams, uncharacteristically, because he doesn't really throw picks. That's one
Right.
thing. Even though he's the most, I think he entered into this playoffs as the quarterback, as the most inaccurate quarterback in the
Wow.
playoffs, right? I think he was
Wow.
like 50% completion percentage, something like that.
Yeah.
Low, really low. But he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions.
Right.
Okay. and of course he makes a lot of big plays. But coming into this game, I was nervous because of his ability to tire out the defense.
Yeah.
Okay. You can
Yeah.
come in, he runs around all game. The defense is on the field for an extended period of time. Come the fourth quarter, you see what can happen, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, I didn't agree with our game plan. I
Mm.
think we only ran the ball 7 times in the first half, which that was the exact opposite of what I wanted us to do.
Right.
And then you had Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Bears. He was throwing a whole lot of different blitz packages at Stafford. After our first drive when we scored a touchdown, he flipped the script and he was sending DB, like a lot of different exotic DB blitzes.
Yeah.
And I think they said for every time a DB blitz throughout the entirety of the game, Matt Stapp, he didn't complete not one pass
Wow.
on a
Yeah.
DB blitz.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, no, I think he got one to Puka at the on the overtime on the overtime drive.
Oh yeah. Yep. I
But
remember that.
but
Yep.
but it gave us a lot of trouble, right? But when we started to get tap into the running game, you see Karen Williams, he
Hmm.
scored 2 touchdowns, we got
Yep.
us going, stuff like that. So I was glad that we got back to the running game, but
Yeah.
it they I it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
On the defensive side, I love what our defense did. Even counting the hail, I don't even want to call it. It looked like a Hail Mary. It was a 14-yard. It goes down as a 14-yard pass, man. It goes down as it went down as a 14-yard pass, but he threw it like 50 some odd yards in the air. Crazy.
That's
But
crazy. Yeah.
even counting that play, I
Yeah.
love how our defense played. Like we got the 3 picks.
Hmm.
We were stout against the run. They didn't just run the ball up and down all over us.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we were stopping them on those fourth down conversions,
Yes. That
which
was
is
huge.
also which is also why I feel Ben Johnson didn't go for two, because I was concerned after that play. I'm like, if
Yep.
they go for two, it's over.
Yeah. That's a
And
good.
because we were stopping them on those short down and distance conversions,
Hmm.
I think it made him second guess, and he went for the kick. He went the safe route, which is what he typically doesn't do.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
that saved us as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like shout out to the Rams defense and McVay. He had those boys coached up.
Yep.
Uh, we didn't drop not one pass. We didn't have not one penalty, and we didn't have any turnovers.
That's clean.
It
Yeah.
was a clean game.
Yeah. That was clean. One thing on that interception that Caleb threw in overtime,
Mhm.
um, it looked like he was kind of disappointed in DJ Moore for not following all the way through on that, because it looked like DJ Moore kind of held up a little, like was like unsure that the ball was coming to him or something. I don't know what, but that's how it kind of looked. Because I looked at Caleb's face, and like you say, he don't hardly throw interceptions, so he was expecting Moore to be at a spot, and it looked like Moore kind of slowed up a little bit. But your guy, your DB, he made a heck of a play, man. That was a heck of a play
Yeah,
he was locked in on him the whole time, and for him to just break off of his assignment and saw that ball, and I mean he was in the air, and you could tell he wanted that. He wanted that. So
we
that was a
needed that.
big play. That was a
We needed
huge
that.
play. Has he been playing that particular DB? Had he been playing like that all season?
Yeah, man. Cam Curl, he's our star safety.
Yeah,
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 he's our star
yeah.
safety. He was a free agent
Gotcha.
acquisition a couple of years ago from the Commanders.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
but going back to who was at fault on the Bears side for that play, it's kind of
yeah,
hard to tell
yeah.
because it was one of those routes where you both quarterback and wide receiver had to be on the same page depending on what the DB was doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was one it he didn't have it was he had two routes that he could take. One, he could have cut the route in and across
Hmm.
the face of the DB, or he could
Hmm.
have gone over the top. And I
Right.
believe Moore read it as
Over the
Caleb is going
top.
to throw it over the top, and
Hmm.
Caleb was reading it as no, I need you to cut in front of the DB.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
they weren't on the same
We're
page.
on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, regardless, that was the most exciting game of the weekend, man. That was a that was a thriller. That's a thriller. And you guys have been in some thrillers, man. I mean,
Yeah.
in the first round, you was in a thriller with the Panthers.
Yeah. Yep.
The second game was, whatever. And then this game was a thriller. So you guys have
Hmm.
this whole playoffs,
So yeah,
you
so
guys have been
check this
tested.
out. So
Yeah.
this made Matt Stafford's fifth game winning drive in the playoffs. Right
Wow.
now,
Yeah.
since he's been in the league, he's had the most game winning drives from when he entered the league to now. Right, and
Yeah.
this is counting Brady and all those other people as well.
That's crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
now he has five playoff, right, and that logs him in as fourth time. He's tied for fourth all time
Right.
for game
Yeah.
winning drives in the playoffs. Now, think about this, Links. He's been playing with the Detroit Lions for 12 years.
Yeah.
All five of those game winning drives in the play that came when he's with the Rams because he's never won a playoff game with
Wow.
the Detroit Lions.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah,
Man. So if he was with y'all the whole time, good grief.
crazy.
That man.
Well, if he was with us and we had Sean McVay,
And you had Sean McVay. Right, 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 right.
right,
Yeah, let's caveat that. Let's caveat
right,
that. Yeah, yeah.
right.
I think what he has done, I know, MVP voting is right now between him and Drake May, right? But
Yeah,
I think Stafford got it. I really think granted I know Drake May is playing good, but Stafford, I think this his year to get that MVP again. I think was this his first one? Would this be his first one?
this would be not only would it be his first one, he's never even had a vote for
Wow.
MVP his entire
Yeah, he
career,
deserved it.
right?
He deserved it. This is
He
a season. This is a season that yeah, he just was balling.
he leads the league in passing yards. Well, does he? Yes, he lead the league. He's leading the league. He leads the league in passing yards, lead the leagues in passing touchdowns, and
Yeah,
he and Drake may have the same amount of interceptions, 8.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That solidifies it there for me. If I was putting in a vote, definitely it was going to go to him. I know it's a regular season thing, but looking at even what he's been doing in the playoffs, and both of them are at the same spot, but I think he definitely deserves it for how he's been playing this
Yeah.
the entirety of the season and coming back and that kind of thing. So yeah, um, kudos to y'all, man. NFC Championship game, next week against a division foe is we. I know we're gonna get into those games later on in the week, but congrats to you guys, man.
Hard fought, hard
Yeah,
fought. It's going to be a tough one. We'll talk about it at the end of the week,
yeah,
but it's going to be an interesting game next week. Uh, Going up in Seattle. So, but looking forward to it. Looking
yeah,
forward to it.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be good. So all right, man. So we'll jump back on later on the week. Talk about that. Talk about these
Hmm.
championship games. Kind of break this down.
Hmm.
Get these picks in and we'll roll, man.
All right, man. Cool.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Later.